It's Friday and it's the eve of the match between Nigeria and Cameroon. Can the Super Eagles of Nigeria do it again when they're facing the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon on Saturday, 9 p.m. Nigerian time? We're all waiting and anticipating that game. This is Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos.
You in the world watching us in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. Cecilia, the big question, can the Super Eagles of Nigeria do it again? First, they need to beat the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. I got my sources in Cameroon talking, and they said, look, that their team will use Nigeria to revive their campaign at the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. So let's expect a very tough encounter when the Eagles clash with the Lions, Cecilia.
Yeah, it's 24 hours to the game. We are waiting and watching. But this is what the show looks like. We're not going to be focusing on AFCON alone because we'll be talking tennis on the program. 33-match winning run is over for Novak Djokovic. He's bidding for a 25th Grand Slam, but that's not going to happen at the Australian Open. Maybe later in the year, you still have 3 more Grand Slams, but he will not be in the final of the Australian Open. Finally, Yannick Sinner ensured that he had to snap that 3-game winning run of Djokovic in Melbourne. And also, we'll talk about the big one, Jurgen Klopp. After 6 major trophies at Anfield, he will be leaving at the end of the season. And the story is he will not be coaching any club in the Premier League or in England at all. And also, he will be taking 1 year off. He's going to go on sabbatical after that 1 year. These and many more we'll be talking about on the show tonight. And of course, the media officer of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Babafemi Raji, will also be joining us on the program to give us details of what's currently going on in the Super Eagles camp. And Namibia, that country hasn't won a game. It hasn't won 9 games. I mean, they won their first game in 9 matches against Tunisia. And that's how they're into the round of 16. We'll be talking about that country making it to the round of 16 for the first time at the Africa Cup of Nations. Austin's on the program, yes, you've seen him, but we have another guest in the studio, and it's nice to have you.
Thank you.
Okpeyemi Akiyode.
Thank you, Cecilia. Good evening, everyone, and it's a big day tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria. I think the last time Babafemi Raji was here, I was also on the show, and then we started the whole, let's do it again conversation. I mean, history has a way of painting things out. Hopefully, I'll repeat the heroics of that amazing Sunday afternoon at the First National Bank Stadium in South Africa, where a relatively unknown Sunday Umba did the magic on a Sunday and gave Nigeria that victory. The last we've had, by the way, that's 11 years ago. So there's history for us again. Defeat Cameroon, which I think is going to be a huge, huge game for the Super Eagles.
We'll start from there. All right, let's talk tennis before we get into the business of the Africa Cup of Nations. Tennis is getting us talking because of the guys that are in the finals. Australian Open, the final moment is almost here. Novak Djokovic was bidding to become the first man, male or female, open era or old era, to win 25 Grand Slams. But that is not happening at the Australian Open. Maybe Wimbledon or US Open or French Open, that could happen for him. Yannick Sinner ensured that didn't happen. Austin, I mean, when you saw the pairing, because we know what Novak Djokovic did to Yannick Sinner at Wimbledon in the semi-final, and of course, ATP just last year. And then you're thinking, yeah, it's Djokovic, Yannick Sinner, no big deal. Yannick Sinner will also be able to get it done. But somehow, that astonishing 33-match winning run at Melbourne came to an end.
That's what it is. Impossible is nothing. Records are made to be broken, and there's no way. I'm looking for whoever would have predicted this result before it was played. Not Novak Djokovic, not the Australian Open, not Melbourne, where this man is loved so much. He plays his best tennis in Melbourne, but what Sinner had to do was just, stay focused, look at the moment, and see how he can snatch it from Novak Djokovic, and that's exactly, what he did. I look at it, if you take a look at the play, Cecilia, he showed resilience. He didn't come out to respect Djokovic, took the game to the champ, and look, for you to be the best in the world, you must be the best. And right after this win, people are already tipping him to go ahead to beat Danny Medvedev, who also recovered from 2 sets down to beat Alexander Zverev. What a story. I didn't predict these 2 names to reach the final, but here we are. It's Sinner going against Medvedev. Djokovic, I don't know, people are saying it's the end of an era.
Nah.
I said, no way, it's not. Djokovic still play beautiful tennis in Melbourne, and I know he's going to regroup and come back again stronger, Cecilia.
Yeah, I mean, after the game, he talked about, this is the worst tennis he has played, you know, that the one he can remember. And of course, he believes he's going to come back stronger. You know, Yannick Sinner is 22 and Djokovic is 36. That's 14 years gap. And if you check what happened in that third set when he was trying to get back, he made about 54 unforced errors all through. That's not Djokovic. So a lot of mistakes were actually in that game.
First off, we need to give credit to the consistency of Novak Djokovic. The trial of Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Djokovic, they've held at the world of mid tennis by the truth for more than 15 years. In fact, they've rotated world number one among the three of them. There was a time, former British number one, Andy Murray came through, but you know that these three have held it down. Roger Federer is out. Nadal is in and out. I mean, he got injured at the ATP 1000 in Brisbane. They build up to this AO, but he got out. But irrespective of what happened this time around, I think a lot of people need to know that Novak Djokovic would get to that 25. There's nothing anybody wants to do. But sometimes the pressure can be huge and big. We saw it played out for Serena Williams, where she needed to equal McGregor's open tennis record of 24. She did all she could. She lost the finals, you know. You knew, and I've always told people, these records are meant to be broken, no doubt about that. But even if they don't, it doesn't take anything away from their greatness. No, but Djokovic, this is just the curtain raiser. This is the first Grand Slam for the year. We're still going to declare, even though I think no matter how weak Rafael Nadal is, you see that clay. That's why they call him the king of clay. He comes in and just makes things. It's just the ease at which Sinner defeated Novak Djokovic is the big surprise for me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, usually when he gives his opponent your 2 sets up, he comes back. He was coming back for the third. But somehow, yes, he came back for that third set. But that fourth set, I mean, well, Djokovic is out. I know there's some people who are actually happy that he's not winning the 20-minute Grand Slam. But who else was going to happen in the French Open at Wimbledon? And of course, the US Open. Medvedev is another player we'll be talking about just briefly. I mean, Zverev and Medvedev, you expected Zverev, but I mean, Medvedev admitted that he was actually lucky to get into his third Grand Slam.
Yes, I think it was even more lucky that he avoided Novak Djokovic in the semi-finals. Because Djokovic always have a way of looking at the big potentials and trying to get them off before they get to the finals. But hey, you can't take anything away from Danny. He's an amazing young player getting to the ranks. And it shows that the future is safe. If all of these three eventually leave, Djokovic is 36, Rafael Nadal doesn't look like can play top level tennis for a longer period of time. So we want to see people that will come through and exert that level of dominance that Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic have done in the last 15 years or thereabout. Danny Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Carlos Alcaraz, all of these young guys coming through the ranks. I'm quite optimistic. Whoever wins the finals, whether it's Sinner or Medvedev, I'm very sure that there's a new kid on the block, and I hope they'll be consistent with the wins.
Yeah, Medvedev is 27. He has already won a Grand Slam, but Yannick Sinner hasn't won any. All right, let's leave tennis and quickly go to this one. I mean, Jurgen Klopp. This afternoon, he announced that, in the morning, around 11 a.m. today, they announced officially that he will be stepping down as Liverpool manager at the end of the season. And what's his reasons? Where he feels, he's losing a bit of interest. He has so many things to think about, so many things to do. And of course, he's living, England totally. So he will not be coaching even in England. No club in the Premier League. Let's take a listen to him. He has his reasons for wanting to step down at the end of the season.
It was not my idea when I signed the new contract. I was 100% convinced in this moment we will go until 2026. 100%. But how can I underestimated or judged it wrong. It's not my level. My energy level is endless because it always was, and now it's not. And then we have to change. Of course, I have to tell the owners, that's clear. But then to tell our supporters and to tell the players. And I don't know 100% about the reaction of the supporters, but the reaction of the players was top. Just it was really good. We know each other so long that they know I don't say things like that and walk away or stuff like this. So I am here and I'm fully here. In my idle world, the best memories are still to come. to be honest. So let me say like that. So I'm not in that mood. There are so many moments that I would anyway probably mention the wrong one because I'm not prepared. But that's not about today. I have no regrets so far. We built 2 stands, which will last forever. They will stay there. If there's not an earthquake, they will stay there. So the stadium is wonderful. We built this AXA training ground where you are. Wonderful. This will stay for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Wonderful. Everything set. We did what we did properly. That's really important. We did it the Liverpool way, what I loved. So, and that we didn't win with 97 points and we didn't win the Champions League final, it had nothing to do with that one player was not in or we would have spent for another one 120. I understand 100%. That's a fan view. Fine. A professional view can never be like that. It just can't. But it's too important to do it with 50%. It is just too important. And that's why, and this team is set up for the future. When I said Liverpool 2.0, that didn't include me, obviously, for the next 10 years. So, but the team is there, the basis is there, and whoever comes in cannot give anybody a guarantee to win trophies, but can give as a good chance to play really good football, and that's fine because we will get a top manager here. And whatever will happen in the future, I don't know now. But no club, no country for the next year, no other English club ever. I can promise that, even if I have nothing to eat, that will not happen.
So let's get into the business of the Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. Austin, of course, we're starting off with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, Babafemi Raji is ready to join us. He's the media officer of the Super Eagles, live from Abidjan. Femi.
Yeah, how you doing? Good evening.
Good evening. So tell us, what's the updates from the Super Eagles camp? What's currently happening? What are we expecting in the game against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon on Saturday night?
Oh, the good news is no injury concerns, no injury worries. We have all the players available for selection. We had one last training session today. It was a very interesting training session. All members of the team, the entire squad, every member of the team trained today, talking about the players. It was an interesting one, tactical, went through some physical sessions as well. It's a knockout phase, also practice some kicks from the penalty spot, So it's a great mood in camp. We're dining right now. It's dinner time. We've also had the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Musakuso, visit and talk to us as often as possible, just to ensure the team is mentally ready for tomorrow's game against Cameroon.
Yeah, I know Austin has got a couple of questions for you. Austin?
Yeah, Babafemi Raji, I must begin with congratulations to the Super Eagles of Nigeria for making it to the round of 16. It was a very tricky group, and they found a way to make it. It's Nigeria against Cameroon, and this sort of fixture comes with, a lot of talks, a lot of jabs, a lot of expectations. This current crop of Super Eagles players, do they understand the mission? Do they know what it takes to go against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon?
Definitely, you can't go into a competition without understanding the mission. The vision of the team, this current crop, is to win. The objective and vision is to win the AFCON. And knowing fully well that we have to play the best, play good teams to ensure we win, to be the best on the continent. Already they are fine-tuned in that level. Mentally, the players are ready. They know what it takes. We know the history when it comes to Nigeria and Cameroon, and we know how to also rewrite history or sustain history. If such history favors us, we know how to maintain that. And if it doesn't, we know how to rewrite. And that's what the boys are going there to do tomorrow. It's going to be a very, very interesting game where we all enjoy. Like the coach keeps saying, he wants the players to enjoy the game. We don't want to concede. We will not concede, but we will score goals. And that is what we want to do tomorrow.
And the history doesn't really favor Nigeria against Cameroon. So this time around, I'm sure what we should be doing is rewriting history. So I hope that happens for them tomorrow. Babafemi Raji, I want you to put on your hat as a football analyst now, because I know you will soon tell me you are not the coach, so you won't explain or answer my question. So put on the hat of an analyst and tell me, with what you've seen, Coach Jose Peseiro tweaked the starting lineup a bit, tried some new players. How do you think he's going to approach that game tomorrow?
Unfortunately, it's quite a difficult task to put on the hat of an analyst, because I'm the media officer of the team. Picking up that role means I'm picking up two jobs at the same time. There will be conflict of interest. So, pardonnez-moi, I don't want to get fired at the moment in the competition. But as the media officer of the team, I think the coach is working. The tactics have been such that it suits the players. He keeps saying it. It will keep deploying tactics that will make the players comfortable and will get results. If they don't like such tactics, they might have to tweak. I remember during the press conference today, someone asked, "Why don't you change your players? Maybe bring up, get someone else to lead the attack instead of Osimhen and everything." And the coach made a comment, which is stats have it that the team with the clear, most number of clear chances happened to be Nigeria. We had 13 in the group stages, clear chances. The next team ranked to us was like Egypt or so on 10 or was it 9. And in other words, it means we are creating chances. So why tweak? Why make any changes? He said he will stick to the same pattern. No need to change as long as the chances have been created. It means there will be the chances of just increasing the possibility or probability of conversion. It's all about conversion rates now. But in terms of creation of chances, the team is doing well. In the group stages, 13 chances in 3, clear-cut chances in 3 games was the highest by any team. I saw that on Senegal. They created 6 clear chances, led to 6 goals as at the time the stats came out. But again, this is Nigeria, and tomorrow is Cameroon. Trust me, we'll be in for a very good game, Austin.
Okay, let me bring in Okpeyemi quickly into it, because he's been shaking his head. I mean, we're talking about the clean sheets, because you have 13. We're talking about clean sheets and also chances created. 13 chances, right? You scored only 3. So what do you think, Okpeyemi?
You didn't even score the 3.
Okay,
one was the penalty. The third was goal, anyone to score. Victor Osimhen was on the line, and they just did the easiest of jobs. And we also got the penalty, well-taken penalty by William Troost-Ekong. I think a lot of us need to understand the fact that this is the Super Eagles. Irrespective of how people think we are or how bad people think we are, the fact that you are playing Nigeria certainly make you uncomfortable, no matter how big a country you are. So we're going to this particular one. Well, I'm surprised that the manager says, I won't want to concede, score a goal and lock up shop. We have arguably one of the best strikers in world football at the moment, Victor Osimhen, the African Footballer of the Year. Senegal had 6 chances, and they converted them. That's what happens. If you don't score, you don't win games. And this is not the group stage where if you draw this one, you have the opportunity to make up the next game. It is get in or you get out. It's either you win by a regular period via penalties, but a winner has to emerge tomorrow. And I think over time, the Super Eagles players have come to understand that this is literally the only thing that makes us happy in this country. Irrespective of your political divide, your religious sentiment, your tribe, everybody supports the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and we're looking forward to that. I don't want this Cinderella story to end. And why I say Cinderella is that there are quite a lot of people that were really pessimistic about the chances of the Super Eagles going into this AFCON. A lot of people felt, okay, I said it against Ivory Coast, that my best man on the pitch that play was Jose Peseiro. The fact that he could, in between games, alter his formation, and you obviously made the Ivorians uncomfortable, and we got the job done. Against Cameroon, it won't be easy, but I mean, you don't say anything less than a victory for the Super Eagles, Cecilia. I don't also.
Yeah, Femi Raji, before we let you go, I mean, Nigerians here, as the analyst mentioned, you know, skepticism was there, and then the support is still pouring in from everywhere. I mean, the level of support in Côte d'Ivoire, what is it like for the players?
It's massive. The level of support is really indeed very massive. Nigerians are supporting their own the same way. First, I must even commend you. You're wearing our Let's Do It Again shirt. Thanks for the amazing support. Really, I'm perplexed. Thanks, Cecilia. So the support here is amazing. As I speak to you, we have the president of the Nigerian Football Federation right there around. Chief Sheikh Wondebami 1980 AFCON winner, Austin J.J. Okocha 1994 AFCON winner, all here to encourage them. See, just outside our hotel, the supporters club, different, all of them there, the trumpets, everything. I met Elijah Diouf Hussein just at the elevator here to our hotel here. And he mentioned, he said, "On I don't ready," he even spoke in pidgin. See, he said, "On I don't ready," he said, "You have to take them out tomorrow."
Okay.
The support is massive.
All right.
It's very, very massive. And trust me, we will not let Nigerians and those that love Nigeria down.
We hope so. All right, thank you so much, Babafem Raji, for joining us on the program. Yes, I know you're going for your dinner, whatever you're going for, but I know you're a busy person. Thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully we get to celebrate the Super Eagles on Saturday night.
Yeah, come on. Of course, we'll be screaming what's written on your T-shirt. Let's do it again.
And we are going to do that on Saturday. We need to go on a break. When we come back, there's still so much more to talk about on sports tonight. And of course, we'll be listening to the coach, Joseph Peseiro, talking ahead of the game against Cameroon.
Tough match, of course. This match, I think, 8 Africa titles. The responsibility is a historic match against one big team, but Cameroons play against a big team also. This tournament is a short tournament. You need to decide in specific situations. For that, I choose is the first moment. Keep our goal without goals. You don't want conceded goals, only conceded one. At the same time, you want to play offensive game. You want to enjoy the game. Until now, I think you create enough opportunity for score more goals. I don't want conceded goals tomorrow. I want to score one at least. If you do it, you beat Cameroon. Everybody, you try to confuse and try to. If something happened with me, Kelechi didn't come. Stay in the home. Stay in Leicester.
Exactly.
But you know Leicester. You know Kelechi injured. You know that? You know we recover along our camping. You know that? You know we arrive in the night 4:30. You know that? You know you start to work with us, with collective work, one day after. Is the reason.
I believe most of the questions you guys are thinking about or want him to answer, he has actually answered it, especially concerning Kelechi Iheanacho. Austin, over to you on this one.
I think he's doing a great job with the presser. I think he's beginning to, understand his team, the cluelessness he displayed in those friendly matches against Saudi Arabia and Mozambique, and in the friendlies against Zimbabwe, and in the qualifiers against Lesotho and Zimbabwe, seem to have vanished. He has gotten into tournament mode. He's knowing his players. And as you advance, taking one match at a time, he's definitely going to, interpret the qualities of these players, better. So I like the fact that he's always out there to let us understand that these guys know the mission, that these guys want to, play for the results. He's also, doing the unthinkable. He's tweaking formation here and there. I'm ensuring that everybody understands their parts whenever they have an opportunity to play. So yeah, this is competition. So as long as you're winning, as long as you still stay relevant, the fans will take whatever you're saying. I like the update to give us back Kelechi Iheanacho. I was of the opinion too that you don't rush him into the team. Yes, they had no option than to bring in, particularly what happened with Omar Sadiq and Victor Boniface. So if Kelechi Iheanacho gets better as we advance in the competition and gets a chance to play, fantastic. But you're not going to put him in and then he doesn't, give you 100%. the fans comes for you, and then you start, regretting why you added him to the team. So kudos to Jose Peseiro. We understand that Cameroon will come out to be a pretty tough match. I remember when we made light work of them to qualify for the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Uyo and in South Africa.
Yeah.
They couldn't beat Nigeria. So we just need to, get into game mode tomorrow, put on beast mode, go out there, show Cameroon. I've done analysis over and over again of different, ways why it is the Super Eagles that should advance. If you put side by side what Cameroon did in the group phase and what Nigeria did during the group phase, then definitely the odds favor Nigeria to advance, Cecilia.
Yeah, talking about odds, let's look at history. I mean, sometimes when you look at the history and then you know where you're going to, right? So take a look at the history. I mean, Nigeria and Cameroon head-to-head. All right, 1984, the Africa Cup of Nations final. It was Cameroon 3, and of course, Nigeria 1. And you go to 1988, at the group phase, it was Nigeria 1 and Cameroon 1. Now let's flip over to other Africa Cup of Nations competitions. 1988 final, it was Cameroon 1 and of course Nigeria 1. And then you come to 1992, of course it was a bronze medal match, not the final. Nigeria 2 and Cameroon 1. We could win this. That's why we won more bronze medal than any other nation at the Africa Cup of Nations. And you come to 2000. This was in Lagos, Nigeria. I know most Nigerians remember this very well. It was 2-2. Of course, Cameroon won on penalties. It was also a final match. 2004, quarter-final match at the Africa Cup of Nations, Nigeria 2 and Cameroon 1. Look at the head-to-head, and you look at the statistics. It's like whenever we were facing Cameroon in the final, Cameroon had won 5 titles, right? Of the 5 they've won, 3 was against Nigeria. Okay, let's take a look at the last one. I mean, this was 2019 at the Africa Cup of Nations, round of 16. It was Nigeria 3 and Cameroon 2. So this is happening again, round of 16. And this is 2024. AFCON in 2023, yes. But then, will this result be what we should be expecting on Saturday night? Nigeria hasn't been able to score more than 2 goals in a match, just one. More than 1 goal in a match, just one. And as you mentioned, penalty, an own goal, and Osimhen, tapping.
I think all of these numbers and the stats that we're putting out may not particularly, work up tomorrow, because this is like a derby. The rivalry between both of us, you talked about the fact that out of the ones they won, they defeated Nigeria 3 times in the finals. I mean, I remember the 2000, Nigeria-Ghana 2000, the Nations Cup we co-hosted with Ghana. I was a ball boy in that particular tournament, and I understood, when people come up with the reaction of, oh, somebody put his hand on the air when the penalty didn't go in. I mean, maybe if you had VAR then, that would have been a different conversation. But all of this will be thrown out tomorrow. It's a different conversation. Okay. The Super Eagles qualified in a much more relaxed, way, 7 points. Cameroon had to play arguably one of the best games so far in this AFCON in that 3-2 victory over Gambia. It was a huge game. In fact, they were about 2-3 minutes away from being knocked out. Mm-hmm. Then they scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, got back into the game, and they won by 3-2. So they are coming in. I won't lie to you, Cecilia. Cameroon are scared of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And that's it. No matter how you think the team had been so bad, nobody wants to face the Super Eagles of Nigeria till maybe finals that could go either ways. So I don't know how much goals will come up to me. In fact, I told someone earlier today that the round of 16 will be a bit cagey as against the plethora of goals that we had at the group stage. Because now you don't want to come out anyhow. You have to just make sure that you keep it tight, absorb your opponent. If Peseiro can pull off the magic he did against Ivory Coast with a 3-man defense, when we are defending, when we are attacking, we collapse and we migrate, it could go either ways. But tomorrow, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are really prepared. I like the optimism that Babafem Raji shares. He's with the team in the camp. You understand the energy of the boys. We've seen a couple of videos where the boys are, of course, trust Victor Osimhen with his playful mood, carrying the players. There is that necessary connect with all of the players, and that's what I'm excited about. The Super Eagles of Nigeria tomorrow, you look at it, we may think Peseiro will start with the best formation, and then the formation could backfire. But the most important thing is that we need to go out there with the right mentality. This is not the Cameroon that wears the body-fitted jersey that intimidates the players. It's a different game right now. Tiny little details, Cecilia. moment of brilliance, individual brilliance, the coach's decision on the touchline, those are the moments that will determine key games like this tomorrow.
Let's see what the coach is going to come up with. I'm happy I'm not the coach because this will be difficult. Yeah, talking about physicality, and that's what Moses Simon is talking about the Cameroonians. How physical can they be? Well, he believes, of course, Nigeria can overturn that on Saturday night.
We spoke about the game, and the thing we discussed, I think, is between us. But we said one have to return back to club, and it's him. And he says it's me, so we'll see. 2019 we'll play against them. They are strong. We know about them. They are a good team. And actually, I believe now they are better than Demi Disnev. So we just, and I believe my team also, we are better than 2019. So we'll see after the game. We believe we are physical also. Don't forget, Côte d'Ivoire, they are physical also. But we won 1-0. So, for me, physical does not mean you will win. If you win, you win. Just play and score. That's the most important.
Austin, I believe you share that optimism. It's kind of infectious, you know.
Now it's all about the results, you know. I'm of the opinion that African football is physical. You need to go out there with the right mental strength, ability. You must show power, but then you should also be intelligent. You know, I think that's what Senegal they've been doing. If you take a look at Senegal, take a look at that game against Cameroon. They weren't particularly up for it, but their intelligence gave them the win. Same thing in their last group game. You know, Cameroon also, they've been playing with so much power, so much physicality against Guinea, even with a numerical advantage. They couldn't take that game, you know, to the cleaners. And then they lost the second game to Senegal. And against Gambia, they were like, man, time is ticking away. We got to find a way to be creative and get this result. And they did. Yes, I still feel that ended 3-3, if not for VAR, the chopped off the equalizer that Gambia had. So this is an AFCON where you must show tactical intelligence. You must show tactical discipline. You must show good teamwork. And that's everything Moses Simon highlighted. It's just for us to see workings. We've seen a bit of it in the group stage. It's just that majority of the Super Eagles fans want to see them show workings going forward. They want to see goals. Now, this is the knockout phase. People were expecting it to be tighter, but you find out now that the man that gets one chance will take it. 2 chances will take it. And that's how Victor Osimhen might just get 3 chances and give you an hat-trick.
Okay, I'm actually clapping from here. We should expect that. Because, I mean, Austin, come on, we have to beat Cameroon. I mean, bragging rights, because Eto'o celebrated so much when they got into the round of 16, as if they won the title. So I want that celebration to die down on Saturday night. Okay, let's move to other fixtures for Saturday. We've got 2 games on Saturday. There's one before the Nigerian match at 9 p.m. The first game is at 6 p.m. Nigerian time, and that's Angola and Namibia. I mean, who could have thought that you have Angola, a group that had Tunisia, will be playing in the round of 16? It's the first time, and it's their 3rd AFCON, and this is the first time they're actually getting into the round of 16 at the expense, of course, a big nation like Tunisia. Now, if you take a look at the Angolan team, they top that group. I mean, there's some groups you look at, you already have in mind, okay, these are the teams that will qualify. Oh, you have South Africa, you know. You just tell us, oh, you have South Africa, you have Mali. These countries, but somehow, I mean, when, at the end of the day, it just so happened that Namibia, yes, South Africa also qualified, and then Mali, I mean, you just look at, Angola, you look at Angola topping a group that has countries like that. I mean, now you have Namibia and Angola facing each other in the round of 16.
This has been a Nations Cup of the underdogs embracing the spotlight. Cape Verde actually topped the group that had Egypt and Ghana. I mean, Egypt is the most successful African nation at the AFCON. And then Egypt had to use backdoor to sneak in and get into the round of 16. And Cape Verde just gave a good show. In fact, in that last game against Egypt, the Egyptians thought they were home and dry, they were done and dusted, and deep into the extra time. Cape Verde did the impossible, despite the fact that they rested 7 of their first players for that game against Egypt. I mean, we've also seen it. But the Palanga Negras of Angola had shown that they can be big at the big stage. You said it is their third AFCON, but this is the first time they're scaling through to the round of 16. Namibia, that game is going to be, Namibia. The game is going to be very close. It could be defined by the tiniest final, some little margins and all of that. But you probably want to think that Angola qualified at the top of their group with 7 points, the same thing with Nigeria. Namibia also qualified at the bottom part of their group. You may be tempted to think Angola would do it. They played good. In fact, Namibia lost their 2 games to qualify, but they qualified because they won their first game. So, Tunisia. As against Angola, that qualified with 7 points, you might want to think that, but like Austin said, you will get to see real African football from tomorrow. At the group stage, you always know that even if you lose a game, you still stand a chance to qualify. You can still use the other 2 games to remedy. But this one is a knockout. It's a win or bust. So this is where you would see raw, undiluted, physical African football on display. It could be easy peasy for Angola, but don't underrate Namibia. Don't.
Yeah, I mean, talking about don't underrate them, I mean, the coach, Colin Benjamin, he said, it was not written in the script that they'll get into the round of 16. But right now, they are into the round of 16, and they want to keep it going. And of course, it had to make, when you're talking about movies and actors who will not die in the movies and all that, you remember Knight Rider and everything, but he made allusion to all that. And that's what he's taking into the game against Angola. A well-written script, a well-structured team, and he's expecting to scale through.
Some teams are at home. Namibia is here. That was not written in the script. There's a movie, and when in the movie, there's always something written, like Michael Knight will not die, Superman will not die, Batman will not die. Now, in the script, we are writing the script. I'm the coach of the team. I cannot be surprised. I know what they are capable of. I train them. I call them. I bring out the strategy with my technical team together. Everything happening there on that field is not a surprise, my friend. I'm not, and maybe for everybody else, but I am the orchestra with my team. I cannot cook something, I'm cooking spaghetti and voila, it's rice. No, I know what I'm cooking. It has been a good one for us. But you know how it is in performance sport. You set this target, and when you reach it, you're like, you know what? Maybe I can go further. So with that said, it's like the hunger is there for us to succeed. We know that we have to take everything out of the reserves. Also seeing that we played two days ago. We draw inspiration from that. We want a little bit more. It's not going to be easy, but we want to take that chance, definitely. The good thing is also that we draw inspiration from what happened in the past. What happened in the past is that Namibia always had difficult games against Angola, and us being COSAFA neighbors, this is a special game, and we preparing earnestly with a lot of commitment and a lot of concentration, and we want to have to put our speed and our aggression against the ball to play against these very good, tricky Angolan players.
Tricky game, a country of 3 million people, 27th in Africa. I mean, in the last 2 Nations Cup they've been to, they didn't win a game. And the first one they won after 3 Nations Cup was against Tunisia. And now they're in the round of 16, wanted to dream more. Austin, I mean, you love the story of Oddity, right? That's right.
I love it, And I said it, Cecilia, each time I say this to people, just say, oh, Austin, just wishing the big teams, bad luck. And I said, no. I have seen what the COSAFA region are doing with their football. You must give them their flowers. Did you see Mozambique in their opening game against Egypt? Even Angola Look at Namibia. Tunisia, they were lucky to just lose that game 1-0 in that opening group match because Namibia Namibia touched Tunisia. It was right after that match Tunisia knew that they were not going anywhere at this AFCON. So give them their flowers. Yes, some will say they went on, and didn't put on that same performance, but just that win against Tunisia was good enough to give them a spot in the round of 16. Namibia is ranked 23rd in Africa and 107 in the world. Now, you would understand why Coach Colin Benjamin struggled to explain what is happening to his team. And against Angola, look, I've been saying it, that game is even. They are COSAFA neighbors. They know themselves.
Yeah.
So Namibia might just come out, and on the bank of what I've said, two things will happen. If Namibia play the way they played against Tunisia, they'll beat Angola. If Angola play the way they defeated Burkina Faso 2-0, they will beat Namibia. So you see, they both know themselves. We're going to say tight game of football. And once again, it will be one of who shows good character, who shows intent, and the team that takes chances.
All right. We're in the business of AFCON here and go back to Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp. Leave it. I'm tempted to go back to Austin in London because I know a lot of things are actually happening in Liverpool right now at Anfield. I mean, when you listen to him and you were shaking your arm like, okay, this is it. You saw this coming, unexpected. He's 56.
I've always believed that in life, you need to know when to leave when the ovation is loudest.
Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp is certainly Liverpool's most successful manager of all times. I won the Champions League with them, I won the Super Cup, won the World Club competition, won the FA Cup, and the very much title that had eluded Liverpool, even with the expertise of Steven Gerrard, all of the big players they've had, none of the managers have been able to deliver that, and Jurgen Klopp did it. They've not won the Premier League title in 32 years, and Jurgen Klopp did that. In fact, he missed it by 1 point the previous season, and the following season, he consolidated on his game and he won it. Introduced the Gengen football into the Liverpool style. Eras would come, eras would go. We had Sir Alex Ferguson that took Manchester United from being a no club to arguably the biggest club in the world, one of the biggest in England. He also had Arsene Wenger, brought in Arsenal's conversation, took them from Highbury to the Emirates Stadium, gave us arguably the best striker the English Premier League had ever seen in Thierry Henry. Those eras would come, they would go.
Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp also understands the fact that it makes a lot of sense for him to take a bow now.
Yeah.
I mean, the team is well positioned. They could still win the quadruple this season.
Yeah.
They've qualified for the final of the Carabao Cup against Chelsea. They are well positioned in the Europa League. They're still in the FA Cup. They are 5 points ahead of Manchester City in the Premier League campaign. So everything is looking good for them. However, this decision of Jurgen Klopp, especially the timing of the announcement, could flip. It could be a morale killer for the players.
Yeah.
It could be a morale booster for them. You know what? Our manager is leaving. Let us deliver these titles as a way to show him love, that we've appreciated everything you've done. It makes a lot of sense for him to take a bow. Maximum respect again to Liverpool. He said he's not going to coach any other club in the Premier League ever. He said taking a 1 year sabbatical, he would come back. My fear is that there's been conversation around maybe Jose Mourinho or maybe Xabi Alonso, but forget it. Let Jurgen Klopp enjoy his next few moments with Liverpool and then takes a bow.
In May. Austin, we got to go. But Jurgen Klopp, I mean, you were shocked. He's running out of energy. 8.5 years at Anfield.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said running out of energy, and he has also followed up with another presser to say he thinks he's making the right decision. What a story. Arrived in October 2015, and he has a contract that's supposed to expire in 2026. But hey, the man said, look, I'm running out of energy. I need to go sit down, and take a look and reshuffle. And, that's what I always say. Mental health is something. It might not be telling us anything now, but who knows what he's dealing with. So let's just wish Jurgen Klopp all the best. Liverpool fans are shattered. They've been calling on radio, on TV. They've been crying. I was like, Jurgen Klopp should have just waited for this season to be over, before he leaves. So that's it. It is what it is. Quick roundup of our results in the FA Cup fourth round. That game between Chelsea and Aston Villa is still goalless, half-time. The game between Tottenham and Manchester City is just approaching half-time also, and it's still goalless. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Okwemi, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, Cecilia, for having me.
All right, we're going to leave you with the cries and, of course, the shocks by Liverpool fans at Anfield after Jurgen Klopp announced that he will be leaving at the end of the season. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night rest.
Everyone's shocked, mate. It's just like the middle of a season. We're still in 4 out of 4 competitions. We're absolutely flying. Yes, there's been injuries and yes, there's been a few problems, but we're in pinnacle form, with the players coming through now. And to announce this halfway through the season, we've just beat Fulham there, and we're going into a final. It's like, what is going on? There's so many nights like that we've had, games that we've won, that we've overcome these tasks. It's just fantastic. It's all through his mentality. So listen, it's not as if we're walking away without these memories, but mate, it's a sad day.
It's hard to put into words. Shocked is what everyone probably thinks as well. Yeah. He's not just a manager. He's not just a manager. He's a man for the city as well. He just brings everything to the city, to the club. Yeah, shocked and devastated. Yeah, like everyone else. He brought so much to the club. It's hard to just put into a sentence. He means everything to the club, everything to the fans, and like I say, to the city as well. I think he's one of the rare managers that not all of them will admit it, but even some Everton fans respect him because what he brings to the city as well. Yeah, he's just like one of us. So
feels like a member of the family's died, if I'm being totally honest. It feels that deep. That just surprised more than anything. I think last season, the season took its toll on Jurgen. To be honest, I think you could see he looked tired last season, but this season he's come back. He's looked fresh. His in-game play, I think, his in-game management has been brilliant. The subs coming off the bench to change games. The amount of times we've come from behind to win games, he looks fresh. So that's the shock. I thought he's revamped the midfield. He's changed the whole squad, bringing all the kids through. I just thought he'd have a couple more years, bring these kids on. But yeah, very shocked, very shocked.